thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Michelle Bernard. I am the president of the Independent Women's Forum, and we would like to thank you for joining us tonight. We'd like to say welcome to the IWF family, and we hope that we will continue to see you throughout the year. As you know, tonight we are here to talk about, we're conducting this panel discussion, Katrina, 1 year later, the root causes of poverty. And one of the questions you might be asking yourselves is why we decided to have this discussion now. In August, most of the nation was talking about the 10-year anniversary of welfare reform. We also started talking about Katrina a year later. In the aftermath of Katrina, most of the nation was grappling with the topic of poverty. You couldn't turn on any television station in the country and not see, hundreds of thousands of people that a lot of the nation simply had forgotten about. People started saying, my God, America's dirty little secret. We have so many poor people in this nation. New Orleans and a lot of the Gulf Coast, people said, look like what you would see in Darfur, Sudan. People started saying, we need to have a very serious talk about poverty in America. And so at the Independent Women's Forum, we agreed. We said we need to have an open and honest discussion about the root causes of poverty. I've been doing a lot of reading, getting ready for tonight's discussion, and what I've noticed is that there's a lot of scholarly debate now about the quote-unquote feminization of poverty. What we know is that more women than men live in poverty, and one of the questions we want to ask is why. We know that more blacks than whites live in poverty. One of the questions we want to ask is why. We are not numb to the suffering and the severe deprivation that a lot of Americans live in today. But one of the things that we really want to talk about openly and honestly, which is why we have put together such a wonderful panel for you all to listen to tonight, is are women and minorities, people who make up what we call America's underclass, better served by big government or by limited government. Our theory here at the Independent Women's Forum is that women, as our men, are better served by limited government and by free market economies. We believe that a lot of the big government programs that came out after the sort of Great Society 30 years ago have actually increased the poverty rate in the United States rather than decreased it. So with that, I will leave the rest of the discussion to our panelists. I'm going to introduce our panelists to you tonight. Each panelist will speak for 10 minutes or more. Not too much more.
Don't give us that
and then we will take questions and answers from the audience. I'm going to just do a quick bio on each of you, and then we'll get started. Charles Murray. Charles is the W.H. Brady Scholar at the American Enterprise Institute and is the author of In Our Hands, A Plan to Replace the Welfare State. After we hear from Charles, we will then hear from Star Parker, who I just found out tonight has had a very long history with the Independent Women's Forum, and we're so glad to welcome her back to IWF tonight. Star is the president and founder of the Coalition on Urban Renewal and Education, and she is author of a new book, White Ghetto. Star provides a national dialogue on race and poverty, and at one point in her life was a single welfare mother. John McWhorter. John is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute. He writes and comments on race, ethnicity, and cultural issues for the Manhattan Institute's Center for Race and Ethnicity. He is a columnist for the New York Sun and is the author of Winning the Race, Beyond the Crisis in Black America. Nicole Gelinas is here joining us as well. Nicole is the Searle Freedom Trust Fellow at the Manhattan Institute. And is a contributing editor at the City Journal. She writes on urban economics and finance, municipal corporation finance, and business issues. And she is an author of an article in the City Journal called Will New Orleans Recover? With that, I introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to Charles Murray.